Hello, my name is Raven, and I will be discussing Hectexus by Tex Gresham for my creative reading response in English 579. And I will be doing a few readings of some of the poems I liked of his in this book, and I made my own imitations of it. So, Tex Gresham's book Hectexus was my favorite because there was dark humor in it. He was able to effectively show the reader his little town that he grew up in and show like how isolated he felt and how unusual it felt, and he was able to teleport the reader into that town and give us the overall vibe of it. And his, even though he does have a lot of dark humor and he seems to say things bluntly, he still is able to show the author a message in a serious note. Like there's a few of these that like leave a weight on you and you don't understand how he does it. I like it because it's chaotic. It's like reading a schizophrenic man's diary. There's quotes, there's dialogue, there's random poems, there's drawings he's collected from children. There's like pictures of notes taped on walls. There's pictures of butts he's drawn. He collects like pictures of pimples and acne and talks about his acne a lot. It's it's chaotic and it's exactly how I would write a book and put my thoughts together. That is why I like this book the most. And there's just humor, and then there's dark parts, and then there's references to Moby Dick. It's overall fantastic. And even here on this page 69, he points to the, oh, you can't see it, but he points to the page number and he says, "This is funny." So here's the first poem, and it is on page 21 of Hectexus, and it is the first one that caught my eye, and it is at the Secret Lesbian Bar in Jasper, Texas. And it is a dialogue between a goth and a woman that he collected. Do you ever think about the shit we did? We, people, like killing the dodo bird. The dodo bird, we killed it. But like, what if in its DNA there was some unknown protein strand that got the cure for cancer or a way to live forever or something? The dodo bird. And we killed it. Your what? Oh, what if it was done on purpose? What if the same force that's keeping me on this path killed the dodo, if only to prevent us from surviving? You're fucking nuts. That's a friend telling you this. Did you know that on his deathbed, as he shuffled his mortal coil, a fart slipped from Shakespeare's mortal coil? Whatever was between us is extinct now. So that was a little dialogue that he put together in his book, and that's all. That's it. And I enjoyed this small little dialogue, so I made an imitation of his poem, and I made it about aliens on a planet 1,000 light years from Earth, and they're talking about Earth. At a bar 1,000 light years from Earth on Omicron Persei 8. Do you ever think about all the shit we've done? Like all the planets we've destroyed. Which ones? We've destroyed many. Earth, for example. There were many intelligent species on that planet. Their planet was doomed for destruction from the beginning. It might not have been. Humans were looking for new ways to reverse that damage they'd done. Earth is a terrible home. You're fucking nuts. Perhaps we could have learned from humans and gone along with them. Remember the first time we took to Earth, there were dinosaurs? What the fuck did they do with all the dinosaurs? Where are the dinosaurs? Oh, so that was my little like dialogue. Basically, the aliens are just upset that like the first time they took a trip to Earth, it was like nice. There were dinosaurs, they loved it, and then they came back and just like humans had destroyed it, and they disliked the humans, and then they were like, you know what? We're just gonna destroy Earth entirely. And so that was just my little dialogue because the one goth was shattered, not the goth, the woman was shattered over the destruction of dodo birds. So I was just thinking an alien might be shattered over like the destruction of humanity and like Earth entirely. So this next little snippet from his book is just a small quote that he caught like outside of a Taco Bell, which I liked because I collect quotes in my phone, and I have like a little note thing in the cloud that I've been collecting since like 2015 on my iPhone cloud, basically you can like save all your notes in the cloud, and I've collected all these weird quotes I've heard like on the street or on TV shows or just at school, and I saw this in Tex Gresham's book, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally like copy this because I have so many quotes. And so here he just collected a quote. Ignore my note, collector of quotes. That is the title I've given him. But he overheard this outside of the Taco Bell in Jasper, Texas. 12-year-old white boy. Hell yeah, I'd wipe my ass with taco and feed it to a bitch if she stole my pizza. When you hear something like that and he was probably at Taco Bell ordering like a crunch wrap and he just heard that and it caught him off guard. And I know he had to like write it down or put in his phone or text it to a friend and say, hey, remember this. Because that's the exact thing I do because there are certain quotes I don't want to forget. And so I picked two of the longest ones. A lot of my quotes were only like 4 lines. So these are like two of the longest quotes I've collected. Overheard at the back booth of a Panera Bread in Aurora, Colorado. A 16-year-old white girl. It is the seventh deadly sin to poop at a Panera Bread. I was like ordering, I believe, and I heard that at like the back booth, and I was like, "What is go?" I like that. I like that. That is, I will live by that now. And so, I just thought it was a really random quote, and I wanted to keep it forever. And then overheard walking down the Las Vegas Strip, which is this is surprising. About 21 years ago, two people had sex, and now I do coke to cope with my mundane life. Heard that, and I was like, all right, that I like that. That's something. So these are just two of many quotes I've collected, and I'm sure Tex Gresham has pages of quotes. So I liked that. And then this is by far my favorite poem he wrote in his entire book. Oh my god, this felt just like so raw and like he was in his emotions when he wrote it. Like it feels like there was not a deadline that needed to be met for this poem. I felt it. I felt this poem on a spiritual level. There were no deadlines. I feel like he just wrote this down because he felt it in his heart. And the poem is I'll cut off my fucking leg. It's just meat. I am both the hunter and the great white demon. I am madness maddened. I am pepperoni pizza face, $5, hot and ready trash. Fuck Little Caesars. I felt it. Dude, that last line made me laugh so hard, and I never knew before joining this class I could laugh at poetry. So that is why this is my favorite poem ever, because I could feel just the anger at Little Caesars at the end of that. I made a poem that's not as good because I can't top that. But here we go. I'll cut out my fucking eyes. All they do is deceive me. I am both the abused and the abuser. Clothed in basic iced caramel macchiato camouflage and overpriced $5 coffee, masking my inner anxieties. Barely even coffee, only sugary diabetes in a cup full of hidden calories. Fuck Starbucks. So basically, I just was talking about like the basic camouflage of drinking like a caramel macchiato and ignoring your problems for that brief moment. That's most likely why Starbucks is so popular because everybody's like, hey, I just want to focus on my coffee right now. I don't want to deal with my problems. And I get it. But it's like super sugary. Like everything there is super sugary. So I was feeling it. And this is the last quote I collected. There were so many. This is probably a very long presentation now. I have many more quotes and poems and all this, but I like this one because he says, mostly true. Swallowing a balloon full of drugs, he starts choking. What's wrong with you? The man starts screaming. It popped. Why did you use water balloons? The man dies. Mostly true too. The sequel. Swallowing a balloon full of hydraulic acid and seltzer, he starts choking. What's wrong with you? The clown starts screaming. It popped. Why did you use balloon animal balloons? The clown dies. It makes me think of like drug smuggling, like where you would have bags of like coke and people would like swallow them and like take them across the border, but if they popped, you would pretty much die because there would just be like a whole bag of coke that just exploded in you. So my imitation is not like, okay, once again he's pointing out a serious problem we have here, but he also kind of like makes it funny, like how the freaking clown never learned his lesson. So I know he says mostly true, so I put mostly accurate for my imitation because I didn't want to completely copy him. And this entire story is to that line. It is mostly true, except I did not have Malibu. It was White Claws, but I thought that sounded stupid, so I put Malibu in this poem. But uh, mostly accurate. Swallowing a shot of Malibu. We should go downtown. Why? I just want to show you downtown since you've never been. We went and bought heroin. Oh, he went and bought heroin with me in the car. Mostly accurate too. The sequel. I thought we were only drinking tonight. We are. You need to stop doing heroin. Raven, I'm a chem major. I know how to use certain chemicals correctly. I finished my college homework in the ER that night. He did not die. So, oh, and that is the last slide. So basically, I just wrote like a mostly true poem about how I knew someone that was addicted to heroin and they just never learned. And they just kept doing it. And every time they would drink, they'd be like, oh, we're just gonna drink, we're just gonna get drunk. And then every time they'd be like, all right, now I need to go get heroin because getting drunk isn't enough. So I shared that. They're in rehab now. They've been in rehab for like I think a year. So happy side to that. But yes. So there's that. It was mostly true except for the White Claw part or the Malibu White Claw part. But yes, those are my imitation poems of Heck Texas, Tex Gresham, and I will be writing my paper on him because I liked him so much. But thank you for tuning in to my super cool, awesome reading of his. I need to figure out how to stop this recording. But thank you, everyone. This has been my creative response to my English 579 Spring Living Writers class. Thank you. And how do I stop this?